I don't know. I think it's more complicated than just like 100% introverted, 100% extroverted.
I agree. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because I'm constantly fascinated by the amount of people who, for them, it is like a black and white dichotomous choice. I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. Because I'm like, I really think that more often than not, I'm pretty introverted. There are people that I'm like my full self around and like don't have any qualms saying what I feel like or being the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
But other times I really am like, I don't want to be perceived.
Yeah. I love not being perceived.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of great.
Yeah. What I do love to perceive is hatred.
What a smooth transition, Justin.
Totally flawless. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, Hooterville Junction. Justin.
And I'm an Oompa Loompa body ass bitch, Geoff. And welcome to Bance.
I'm here in your beautiful home once again, Geoff, to record this in-person episode.
We're in person.
I love it. We love in-person recording.
Justin, what's going on?
Well, Geoff, has been a real whirlwind of a week. I'm obviously in town this weekend, so Brandy and I have been traveling. We saw a Red Sox game last night in Boston, so that was cool.
Old Beantown.
I don't know if you heard, but I'm actually famous.
I did actually hear that you're famous. Let's talk about it.
I mean, my level of fame is already pretty high because of this podcast.
Obviously.
We have a broad reach, but also, it was the day before we recorded last week's episode.
Yes.
I DJ'd it was like a pretty small birthday party for Brandy, my wife, and
our
friend Elizabeth. So shout out Elizabeth, and of course Brandy. So I was DJing their birthday party. And
a joint party.
It was very fun. It was a joint birthday party.
Where?
It was on our friend Trillium's rooftop. So shout out Trill as well. We love Trill. And, it was a lot of fun. Woke up the next morning. We recorded the podcast.
Yes.
Longtime listeners may have noticed that my voice was like a little bit out because I was doing a lot of singing and dancing. And then soon after that, I started getting text messages from my friends who were at the party. And they were like, hold on, actually let me put up and I can tell you exactly what my friend said.
I want to hear.
So my friend Sam, I guess I'll bleep the last name, but
okay.
Good friend, not our Sam from here at home.
Sure.
He texted me, he said, OMG, so I'm a Reddit degenerate.
Join the club.
And then he sent a screenshot to a post on our Washington, D.C., one of the D.C. subreddits.
Yeah.
It says, to the house party with the really loud music on, and it's on the street that I was performing. And this person said, I live next door and I'm obsessed with your music. 10 out of 10, no notes. I almost came over just to tell you. Somebody please send me the playlist.
So fun.
Very fun.
Long distance admirer.
It reads like I made a burner Reddit account and just made that post, Like,
I was going to ask, but...
It's kind of the dream DJ feedback to be like, wow, I wasn't even at the party and I just happened to be walking by and the music was just so good, I was going through the comments and a couple of highlights for me in the subreddit comments. Somebody said, anyone at the party just browsing Reddit? And the OP posted back and said, I doubt it. Cry with the smile emoji. Not with a playlist like that.
Little does he know.
And another one said, Shazam it. Like meaning, you can just figure it out by Shazamming.
Yeah, sure.
And then the OP said, I've tried. They're all remixes and Shazam isn't finding them. Sad face. And that's because
that's good for you.
I'm a SoundCloud crate digger. So
a crate digger?
Yeah, crate digger.
I've never heard this. What the hell is a crate digger?
Oh, well, DJs, when they were doing vinyl,
yeah,
they would go to like used vinyl record shops and they would dig through the crates of vinyl records.
I see. Okay. So you're doing that proverbially on some
Yes, proverbially in the virtual fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was like, of course, like far and away over the moon that this happened. And then I posted the track list on this thread. And I like uploaded a re-recording of the set online.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and put it on SoundCloud, which I haven't done for a while because SoundCloud has done me wrong in the past when it comes to mixes. But so far it's still up, and yeah, I've gotten a lot of Reddit DMs like for the download, which is really cool.
That is cool.
So that's been a really fun development over the past week or so.
Wow! And did you use the celebrity to leverage some listening to our podcast by chance?
Well, Geoff, I'm telling everybody that I know about the podcast. You know what I'm saying? In real life, in our day-to-day real life existence, you know?
Sounds like a long roundabout way of saying no.
Well, here's the thing, is that, as you know, a few of our friends did try to comment on the thread that this OP posted about my DJ set, and shout out the podcast.
Shout out.
And those friends' comments were, in fact, insta-deleted by the moderators of our Washington, D.C. And
so rude.
I was taking a look at the rules, and one of them is no solicitation. So I think it's probably because they had a link to our podcast, and they thought, okay, this is now crossing a line into like self-promotion.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think is pretty fair. And once that happened, I was like, I'm definitely not posting a link to our podcast.
Oh,
now.
never a link. You
Yeah.
should just say, I have a podcast called this. Called Dance, baby.
I don't know. I feel like, you know, it was a fun moment of like semi-viral fame. Like, it really was not even that big of a post. It was like, you know, 500 upvotes or something like that.
That's pretty big.
But
it's not nothing.
It just felt like it would be really annoying for me to try to take that inch and like push it to be like, oh yeah, also I make this other content that's a podcast.
Justin,
and, you know,
this is why you need to let me manage you, because you have to just constantly be promoting. ABP. Always be promoting.
This is the problem I have. I just hate being annoying with people. But that's what's so great about this post is
that
they were
is
like,
news to everyone listening.
I do. I mean, I love to talk about stuff, but I don't like to be annoying about my own stuff. You know what I mean?
I think it's time that you do that. I'm going to start managing your career. We're going to get you doing more college gigs. I'll take a very generous 10%, Justin. That's it. That's all.
You're saying I'm being very generous by giving you the 10%.
No, I'm saying I'm generous to not charge you more for my skills.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You understand.
You've managed many DJs before then.
So many.
Okay.
I've managed hiring them. I've managed not hiring them. And, you know, I just feel like I'm really, just trust me.
Okay, yeah, I do. You know, we're already business partners. Parentheses business. That's right.
Well, I'm very glad about your DJ set, and sounds like it was a great time. And I did listen to the first 15 minutes of it, and then, of course, I got distracted. But it was very fun.
Classic.
Me love it.
Well, how's your week been, Geoff?
My week has been fine. I'm, like, setting up for fall, as you can see. I'm embracing it. It is that time of year. And getting rid of the summer stuff, although it's hot as fuck today.
It is.
And I had an event this week, and it was also hot as fuck outside, so I was just schwitzing outside in my fucking suit. It was terrible. Then I decided to come home and unplug, and I told you about how I've been, like, leaving my phone, and I've been enjoying doing that.
We had the brick convo.
And then I started thinking, I think when I'm at my house, I want to just have, like, a house phone, so people can call if they want, and I can talk on the phone, but I don't really want to do, like, the cell phone in my house as much.
Interesting. So what are you going to do with your cell phone? Are you going to have like a little docking station where you put it and like turn off notifications?
I've been looking into this, and I'm like, there has to be somebody out there who, like me, likes a timeless aesthetic. And it's like, I want an old looking phone, but that can, you know, still do Bluetooth my phone calls into it so that I don't have to like look at the phone.
Okay, so you don't have to pay for an actual home line.
Absolutely not. Who's doing that?
I thought that's what you were talking about.
Well, Justin, let me tell you. Well, we're going to talk about this later during our new segment, Hateration. But I have some thoughts about landlines and cable of it all. So we'll talk about that then. But there's this like cool little device. I think it's like only like $20. You can get it like online. And it's called like Magic Jack. And you plug it into like a old school landline thing. And it will just connect to your, you know, via Bluetooth to your phone. And it will transmit all your calls there. And importantly, if your phone has... the landline phone has caller ID on it capability, you can still screen your calls.
That's pretty cool.
And I love that.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to get that.
You're going to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
What's the cost?
It's like $20. And then like you can find vintage phones online for like no money at all.
Nice.
Or like at a Goodwill or whatever.
That's a cool idea. I guess what is interesting is that I feel like I've gotten used to not ever hearing my phone ring. Mm-hmm. Phones are always on vibrate unless you are... a boomer.
Yeah, if you're over the age of 55.
So I'm not used to like hearing a home phone ringing. You know, I would be alarmed.
It's so delightfully vintage.
I don't know how I'd respond. I'd be like, oh my God.
And I want one that has like a fun vintage ring.
Okay.
Like bring, bring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could go hard with this one and get like a real, like actual analog ringer.
Yeah, that'd be
wild.
But then I couldn't do the screen my phone call thing. Unless somebody out there like has developed an affordable aesthetic one that can do all this.
This could be a whole project, you know?
It could be a project, and I'm kind of like, I have enough projects going on. As you can see, I've still not finished my window treatments, and it's been approximately 2 years that I've had the materials to do so.
And I'm sure you're still on your obsession about homes. What is it, like sustainably built homes or whatever?
You know that I am.
Yeah.
I had to clear off my workspace over here earlier today because I had all kinds of books about it, and I was looking through the codes, the residential building codes, Justin. So much fun, let me tell you.
That's just how you spend your Saturdays.
Well, yes.
Good for you, you know? Some of us are DJing, you know, very Reddit famous birthday parties. Some of us are looking into building codes, you know? We all have different interests.
We all have different interests. And I have to talk about an interest of mine that we didn't discuss on the pod last week or the week before when it happened, but internet sensation Roland Ray passed away, which I'm very sad about.
Okay, at risk of aging myself.
Oh boy.
I don't know who Roland Ray is. Is this a social media, like TikTok person or?
Yes, but they actually started out, or well, when I became familiar with them, I should say, I don't actually know where they got their start. They were on those Judge Judy type of shows, those like daytime small claims court television shows. I think one was Divorce Court, and there was another one with like Judge Joe Brown, or I think it's Judge Joe Brown. But anyway, Roland Ray was an icon. He was the one who was always like, purr.
I think so I'm looking at their Instagram and I do
You recognize. Yeah, because I've definitely sent clips, and so has Colleen before to our group chat. Big fans. So very sad he passed away. Seems like he had a life full of health issues, and that's too bad.
Damn, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Roland Ray. Also, we never talked about Charli.
And by Charli, you were referring to the fact that she recently wed
her
fiance, not long time, but fiance, George Daniel, the drummer and producer behind the 1975. Yeah, this wedding, listen, Brandy and I recently got our full wedding album back. Those photos are gorgeous. We're obviously both very hot in those photos. However, this wedding was extremely hot. And it sucks to have this Charli XCX wedding happen the same year as our wedding, because I do have to say, seems like the wedding of the year. Charli's. Yeah.
That wedding looked really fun.
I was just like right up there, number 2, though, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
In our small group, I think so. Our close friend Charli XCX.
Yeah, she looked incredible.
Where was it, though? Was it in Italy?
I think it was in Italy. I believe it was on the coast, because it was like there was a lot of gorgeous photos of her, and her many famous friends were also at the wedding.
Many famous friends. Saw Benny Drama.
Yeah, Benny Drama was there. Maddie Healy, of course, of 1975. Not Bernadette. Gabriette. Yes.
They love Gabriette on the internet.
Famously name-checked in 360.
Was Julia Fox there?
I don't know if Julia Fox was.
I also didn't see Rachel Sennett there.
Beef? No, this isn't that kind of podcast.
Why not? Let's make it.
I just feel like it's not that I don't want it to be. It's just that I feel like speculating about stuff like that is just in bad faith. You know what I mean? Like, just because somebody couldn't make a wedding doesn't mean that they're suddenly beefing.
Oh, no. It says that she sure was there.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah. There's photos of her there.
So no beef.
No beef. We love that. Yeah, that party looked incredible. There was lots of Aperol spritz going around. How fun is that? I think Charli has like a promotion,
she has a very active deal of some kind with Aperol. She's constantly posting about Aperol spritzes, which I do love. You know, that's very millennial coded of her.
So millennial coded. Get your bag, sis.
We love Aperol spritzes on this podcast.
We sure do. Also, her wedding dress was really hot. It was like so sheer.
I'm saying.
Good for her.
People don't say this enough. Charli XCX, extremely hot.
Yeah, it's true. What a brat wedding.
Yeah, so brat. I mean, lots of pictures of people like smoking cigs at the reception tables. I'm like, listen, I wish I was this cool, but that wouldn't fly. That wouldn't fly with us.
No, definitely
no.
Not. You know, I've always wanted to go to Europe, but everybody is, well, not everybody. Anna is always like, you would hate it there.
Oh, because of all the smoke.
Because everybody is constantly smoking.
This is so funny. Okay, at the conference that I was at a couple weeks ago, which we talked about last week at the pod, I was hanging out with a...
Conference, not meeting. Everyone knows.
Yes, conference. I was hanging out with an Italian woman who was a grad student. And we had just come out from... There was like a post-conference dance party, right? And we had like kind of moved outside.
I'm sorry, there was a dance at this conference?
I think...
They're like, these nerds never get a chance to party. Let's give it to them.
Don't even give me a platform to talk about scientist dance parties, Geoff, because it
I
is
need to
crazy.
hear about it. I want to hear about it.
We'll get into that in a second. I'll tell you, but... The dance party was like winding down, and we had like moved outside, and we were chatting as a part of a group. And this woman was like, I'm shocked that nobody is smoking right now. Like, it feels weird to me that we just got out of the dance party, we went outside, and not a single person out here is smoking. Like,
she's a fucking scientist.
But she's Italian. She was like, if we were in Europe, every single person here would be smoking.
The cognitive dissonance is wild.
Okay, now, scientist dance parties. Okay, couple of different notes here.
Okay.
First off, scientists, very international community, right?
Sure.
So they move, like usually a party at a club, at least in our area, starts out like top 40, maybe gets a little bit dancey towards the middle. And then once the night starts to get really late, they start just playing like reggaeton and salsa music.
Is that true?
In my experience. Like like once you get to like 2, 3 a.m., they're like, all right, we know our audience who's here right now. We're playing Latin music,
That's so interesting.
And I will say, because the scientific community is so international and has a lot of Latino representation, they start playing the reggaeton and stuff early, like
really?
10, 11. Yeah. They had already like gone through all the like ABBA and stuff. And then they were like, all right, all the lame white people are gone. Let's go. Like, so that's note number 1. Note number 2, nobody can dance, obviously. So what ends up happening is you have these, this happens in all dance parties. It's just way worse in scientists. Dance circles. I could have done my hateration about dance circles, okay?
I do hate dance
I hate
circles.
that. So one thing that I like to contribute to a scientific conference, is whenever I see a dance circle, I like to be like, let's break this up. Break up the dance circle.
Yeah.
And I'll just like run in and try to get dancing in the middle it's a dangerous game though, because sometimes they're like, oh, this guy can dance, and then they're like rooting you on.
Tighter.
Right, the circle suddenly is like cheering for you, and you're like, no, come in, like that's not what I'm trying to do. So it's better if you have like a team. And there were a couple of researchers at this conference who I could tell also hated the dance circle, and I was like making eye contact with them, and I was like, all right, we're gonna go in on 3. So yeah, those are my 2 comments about scientists and partying.
I have to agree with you. The dance circle is actually diabolical. It's exclusive. Yeah. It feels exclusionary because anyone outside of it is like, oh, I'm not a part of what's happening here. So that's like not a good vibe.
Yeah.
Unless you're at a place where the girls that you're with are being like hit on relentlessly by gross, gropey straight guys. And then I'm like, this is a defense.
Something that doesn't happen in scientists, I will say. Very healthy, wholesome environment.
Justin, I don't think we're qualified to say whether or not that happens. We need women. Women in STEM, write in and let us know if this happens to you at your conferences.
All I'm saying is this particular dance party that I was a witness of. There were not enough people, shadows, or bodies for that to be happening in a way that wasn't obvious to everybody who was in the room. So it was not.
Everybody had their Tevas on.
Yes.
Everybody had their shirts tucked.
It was also like 90% women. So
we love that.
Yeah.
Women in STEM. Damn. I kind of wish I went to this conference. You should invite me next year. It's kind of crazy that you're just across the sound and you don't invite anybody from home to this.
I do sometimes try to take the train into the city and visit some New York friends, but I have not taken the ferry across to Connecticut. That's true.
That's tough.
And I will say anybody can go. It is a small cost of a few $1,000s.
A small cost? Damn.
Small price to pay for that banging dance party that I was just talking about, and the privilege of being witnessed.
Unbelievable prices to get onto this dance floor.
And of course, like, you're getting the most cutting edge science. You know what I mean? Of course. Which I know you're very interested in. So
I love it, especially when it has to do with C. elegans. I love the worms.
No worm science at this meeting. Conference.
I don't believe that, but all right. Well, Justin, we've got a lot of hot topics we should just touch upon before we get into our main topic.
Yeah, let's get right into our hot topics. Now, Geoff, there was a bit of a development in the Kimmel story that you were not able to comment on because it happened between our recording and the release of the episode.
Right.
But Kimmel is back on the air.
Back in action, baby.
And we have a subsequent update, which is that the 2 affiliate companies, Nexstar and Sinclair, that were still holding out on broadcasting Kimmel in their locations have now also ended their boycott.
Flops. These 2 companies are in their flop era.
They were always in their flop era.
I mean, yeah, but this is just like another harbinger of their demise and doom.
I do want to say one thing, which is that when we were recording the episode last week, is that you were like, listen, you got to wake up if you think that we're not living in an authoritarian country.
Yes.
And I do appreciate the sentiment behind that. But if we were truly in an authoritarian country, Kimmel would be in prison. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like this is a sign that as much as the current administration wants us to believe that we live in an authoritarian society,
Sure.
ultimately they are weak, and there are still a lot of checks to their power, both on the civic side, like individuals like us,
Yeah.
and also institutionally, right? The courts, Congress, as much as we hate them and they are flops,
Yes.
they still exist, and they still do have legitimate checks to, the power of the
that's
executive.
true.
So
You are right.
yeah.
I think we're closer than ever to authoritarianism, and I think that we need to continue to resist its pull
I agree.
and limit its power as much as possible through all modalities that we can. Legal, non-violent, of course, gotta say that.
Of course. And I totally agree. And I don't mean to like discount the importance of what's going on in this day and age. But I think that it is ultimately in the administration's favor if we believe that everything is hopeless. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because that's kind of the purpose of this whole muzzle velocity strategy that they have going.
Who the what now? Muzzle velocity?
Yeah, this is
I've never heard this.
This was a quote from famous, I don't know, like real piece of shit, Steve Bannon, who said that part of the administration strategy in his first term was muzzle velocity, just sending things out the muzzle repeatedly as fast as possible.
Got it.
It's kind of a shock and awe strategy,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And it makes you feel like you're already defeated before the victory has happened.
Sure.
You don't have any time to be outraged or to respond to the first thing because the second thing is already happening. And I think that strategy is continuing like at an even higher velocity now
The
in this
clip
term.
has increased.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the strategy is to think like everything is lost.
Overwhelm, confuse, spread misery.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's important just to put out there that this is a good thing that Kimmel is back on the air.
Yeah.
And it's wild that we are in 2025 and Jimmy Kimmel is like the good guy that we're all defending and he gave a good monologue, and it's like, Kimmel?
Yeah.
The man show guy?
The man show guy. You know what, Justin? I was talking about this recently with our friends. We were talking about somebody who went to high school with us, and we were like, damn, that girl sucked. She was such a no good, low down, dirty scoundrel and a bitch to boot. And then I said, you know what? I wonder if she's still like that. I was like, I'm sure people have notions and memories of me at 17 or 16 or whatever. And I wonder if they think that I'm still that way, because I'm sure that I'm very different. But I'm like, I wonder if this person is no longer a low down, dirty scoundrel, smelly ass, stupid bitch. You know?
Is that the end of the story? You were just wondering?
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying, people change.
It's true. Jimmy Kimmel
did.
Yeah.
He's not who he was on The Man Show with Adam Carolla. Remember that guy?
I do. Tough.
Do you know what's also tough? Have you heard of all these comedians that are going to Saudi Arabia and doing this festival, this comedy festival, which is like, this is an oxymoron, a comedy festival in Saudi Arabia?
I just saw a headline about this. And listen, most of the comedians who are participating, it's not really that surprising.
It's a parade of canceled men. However, I will say disappointed.
I think we're going to say the same thing, which is
Hannibal Buress,
Jessica
Kirsten.
For me, the most disappointing was Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari is part of the parade of canceled men.
I understand, but I was kind of rooting for him to maybe make a comeback, because he has been a part of many, I would say, like great projects that have like progressive values, right?
Sure.
And his particular cancellation controversy, I think, was one of the more gray area ones. And while I think that it was clear that he learned from it and he was in the wrong in that specific scenario, it did seem like maybe he could come out the other side of it, as opposed to somebody like, Louis C.K., who is like
awful,
heinous. Yeah. So to see him...
We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
I know, I was rooting for Aziz.
How dare you?
He also can't really catch a break, because he was directing a movie that starred Bill Murray, where Bill Murray was accused of sexual harassment. I don't know if you heard about this.
No.
Yeah, so he was trying to film his comeback movie. And it was a movie that was starring Bill Murray. Obviously, this is like a huge get, right? Like, this is like a major star.
Yeah.
And he's not acting that much anymore.
No.
And apparently Bill Murray, he allegedly kissed a woman as a part of a bit on set of the movie. And rather than deal with that controversy and put the movie out, the studio was like, this is not happening anymore.
Yeah.
We're cutting it. And then Aziz was like, fuck. And now he's making a new movie with, I think, Keanu Reeves. Some kind of guardian angel related movie.
Okay.
Which, listen, dude, he really can't catch a break. I'm like, maybe you should just go back to writing.
I don't know.
It's weird. Yeah.
It seems like he needs a paycheck, because why else would you go there? You know? Maybe
It's
he's
true.
going to get money from this movie, because I'm sure he was going to get money from it being sold and distributed and ticket sales, all that stuff.
Yeah. And
That's tough.
In that particular scenario, it wasn't even his fault. You know, it's just Bill Murray, who I think has been. The crazy thing is that I don't think Bill Murray has been canceled in the public eye, and that's because of this decision to cancel the movie. Like, this story has been pretty poorly
I hadn't
reported.
heard of it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm unsurprised by it, though. Bill Murray's always been like a weirdo. And I think he always kind of pushed the envelope of like what's appropriate.
I mean, he's always been, I think people who like him would say he's weirdo parentheses good.
Yeah.
But, you know, people who are weirdos are always like on that boundary of like, maybe you could turn one way, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
We know people like that too.
Speaking of films, Geoff,
Yeah.
we have a couple of Star Wars related films to talk about.
Yeah.
Geoff, you famously once said Star Wars is hot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you stand by that statement?
Well, yeah. But also, no. We talked about this before, but I'm just like kind of over the like regurgitation of, you know, IP.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, new ideas. What else? What else have we got?
I'm going to come at you with a counterpoint.
Okay.
Something that is a regurgitation
Okay.
of a Disney Plus television show that is being spun out into a film titled The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yes.
Have you seen this trailer?
I did see the trailer, and I do have to say, I want to watch it because Grogu looks so cute.
A Grogu can apparently talk now. So that's
Wait,
a
I
thing.
missed that.
When he shot the alien and then he was like, that was a good shot or whatever.
No, that was another guy. That was like the little
Oh.
alien with him.
I assumed that was Grogu.
No,
'Cause Yoda
that's
can
like
talk.
those other tiny little alien things
Oh,
with
okay.
him.
That explains it. Okay.
Yeah.
But he is getting older. He has like force abilities now, I guess.
Love it. Justin, I want force abilities.
Don't we all?
Yeah, okay, but I was rewatching Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure this is connected.
Of course it is. Well, I decided to watch The Hobbit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, tough one.
And then I was like, I forgot that this really isn't very good.
Those
And I
movies
was
are
like,
so bad.
let me watch Lord of the Rings again so I can remember things being pretty well done.
Mm-hmm.
So I then watched that, and I
Ooh.
was like,
Director's cut, the extended edition.
of course, extended edition. Oh,
I have a hot take about this, but go on.
boy, here we go. And it was so good, and I was like, I want like the powers that Gandalf and Galadriel have.
Mm.
And I was thinking about that earlier because we were talking about, what were we talking about?
Maybe it was just the current administration and the fact that they're
Yes,
not
it was
as powerful as
exactly
they
that,
think they
Justin.
are. Yeah.
You have no powers here. Go back to the void from whence you came.
Okay, I don't think you actually said you have no power here. I think that was just an in your head comment that you thought.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
but
probably happened.
okay.
Yeah. Anyways, wouldn't it be so great if we could just like banish like she did with Sauron? I wish we could do that.
I watched Lord of the Rings, the extended version, semi-recently.
Yeah.
First of all,
Like
obsessed.
this year?
Yes, this year.
Yeah.
Obsessed with Galadriel.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
So
like,
great.
I don't know what headspace I was in, but I was like, should I divorce Brandy and marry Galadriel? Kate Blanchett?
Oh, fuck. Damn, this was right after your wedding?
No, it was actually before the wedding, but
Shit. And then you saw Brandon on your wedding day and you were like, never mind, I'm good.
exactly. But I was infatuated. I was like, damn, I guess I get it. But the extended version, I hadn't watched it in a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like the extended version is a little bit slow.
Sure.
And I do, in hindsight, wish that I had just watched the theatrical version.
By definition, it is slower
Yeah.
than theatrical release.
And I think for people who are like really familiar with the films and are fans, it's nice because it's like just add extra stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me, as somebody who I'm not watching it every year, this was the first time I'd watched it probably since, I don't know, like a couple years after it came out.
You don't rewatch it every year?
No.
Okay.
We talked about this, I think.
Did we?
Yeah. And I said, do you usually rewatch it in the holiday season? And you were like, no, why would you say that? And I was like, well, some people rewatch it in the winter. I guess it's kind of like a Harry Potter-esque thing for them.
That's so fascinating. I do rewatch a lot of the Harry Potter in the fall because I'm like Halloween.
Interesting.
But I tend to watch like Lord of the Rings in the summer or like this time of year, like fall, like transitioning into fall. The Shire, there's something very cozy and hobbity about the fall, you know?
Yeah. I mean, coziness. I think that the general vibe of fall is coziness.
Yeah.
You know, I guess winter too, but fall is when you're entering the cozy era.
What if this house that I make, the cob house or the straw bale house, what if I make it in the shape of a hobbit house? Would that be cute or would that be so cringe? Or both?
I think you're inviting a lot of Hobbit comparisons to the person who would live in that house.
Justin, I'm 5'8".
I'm not saying anything.
I won't hear any more
I'm
talk
not
of
saying
me being
anything
short.
about that. I'm not saying anything.
I'm slightly below average for the American male.
I'm not saying anything about your height. I'm just saying you're inviting the comparisons.
Justin, I shave my feet now. They're not that hairy.
If you're worried
no more
about
Hobbit comparisons.
If you're worried about being called a Hobbit, then maybe don't live in a Hobbit house.
All right, cancel that. Delete that.
Okay. All right, next hot topic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait, no, but...
You have more thoughts about Mandalorian and Grogu?
Yeah, okay. I don't understand why we had to make it a movie. I think I would have just preferred, like, another season of The Mandalorian. Like, I feel like...
Well, here's my...
Okay.
Justin being a bummer take on this.
Okay.
Sorry. Mandalorian, the TV show, got much worse the longer it went on.
Yeah, but I think that was because they didn't really know where they were going. Like, I don't think they had, like, a true, like, blueprint of what this show and what the story's supposed to be.
Or what its character is as a show, right? Because it started out as this very minimalist, like, back to basics, Western, Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And then in the latter few seasons, it had become this, like, oh, now we're going to have Luke Skywalker in an episode. Now we're going to have Ahsoka in an episode. Now all of these other things from the expanded universe are going to be in this show.
Yeah, I think it lost focus.
And for normies like me and you who are not in the extended universe, it was like, who are these people and why do I care?
Why do I care?
Like, I just want to see Grogu, you know?
Yeah.
What is cool about the movie is that it does seem to be focused tightly on the Mandalorian and Grogu, thus the name. And I also think this is the only brand that Star Wars has that people have an affection for at this point. People generally, in hindsight, hate the sequel trilogy. Yep. And people generally are not really high on Star Wars at this moment. So I think they're going for a comfort food, back to basics, in your words, IP slop regurgitation.
Yeah.
And that's what this will be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That being said, like, the pull of Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian and Grogu is strong.
It really is.
Grogu is very cute.
It even worked on me. I said he's so adorable. Unfortunately, I do want to see this.
And Sigourney Weaver is in it, which we love Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Beaver?
Yeah.
I love her.
So maybe it's good. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing in the trailer that screams to me like, oh, this is like a new frontier for Star Wars. This screams we're trying to do the original trilogy again with a higher production value.
It's giving Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oof. That's...
Like, I don't think there's going to be a lot of substance there. I think they're just like, hey, like, people still like Pedro Pascal and Grogu, and we can also sell a lot of, like, shit to kids with Pedro Pascal dressed as Mandalorian and Grogu dolls.
This is what was so good about Andor, right? Was that I think a lot of Star Wars is, and there was some article about this that I don't remember, but I'll try to find it and put the link in the show notes, but about Star Wars being like a helmet show or a helmet franchise where it's just kind of iconography that looks cool.
Oh yeah.
And it sells toys. That inherently, especially when it's connected with like a lot of the helmet people are literally in the world of Star Wars. Fascists. Like Darth Vader, right?
Right.
Like Kylo Ren. These are people who are a part of the bad team, right? And they get sold as merch. Andor was not a helmet show, right?
Sure.
De-emphasized the helmet.
And it was more like a political drama, right?
Right, and it actually like explicitly demonized the helmets as like dehumanizing.
Sure.
And I think this is what made Andor such a great show, among many other things. But Mandalorian and Grogu is a helmet movie because Mando famously never takes his helmet off.
Right.
It's selling toys of the Mandalorian, and it's a puppet Grogu who is very cute.
So cute.
But it's, toy sales.
Yep.
So I don't really have high hopes for it. It's being directed by Jon Favreau, who did Iron Man and directed many episodes of the TV show.
Yep.
It could be
Did you ever see the movie Chef?
I never saw Chef.
I have to say, Chef is actually a really great movie.
Jon Favreau is a really talented director. Like, no joke.
He also starred in it.
I know he starred in it and directed it.
Yeah.
Same way he starred in Iron Man as the Happy Hogan.
Have you ever had aglio e olio?
Maybe I have, but I don't know what it is.
It's spaghetti that is cooked in olive oil that is flavored with garlic cloves. And you take the garlic out before it like starts to like really burn because it can be bitter. And then the oil is just like heavily seasoned with garlic, and you toss linguine or bucatini, you could do spaghetti in it, and then a ton of parsley and red pepper flakes and freshly shaved Parmesan. So simple, so good. Anyway, he makes it in this movie.
Okay. I've heard that like food people really love that movie. One of the best.
Chef Geoff
movies.
was very inspired by that movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's great.
Yeah, so speaking of Star Wars, have you seen the legendary parody of Star Wars, Spaceballs, before?
I sure have. John Candy.
And did you know that there is going to be a Spaceballs 2?
I did not know that. Did you know that John Candy's character is half dog, half man, so he's his own best friend?
Isn't that in the film?
It sure is.
Yeah. So I did know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bet you hadn't thought about it in a while.
I haven't seen Spaceballs in a really long time, but it was one of those movies where like you would go over to like your friend's house and
Yeah.
they'd be like, this one's crazy.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was like one of those movies you always saw at Blockbuster.
Yes.
And you would go there and you'd be like, this is curious, but I'm not intrigued enough to get it. But then somebody always had a VHS of it at their house when you went over.
Whoever had like the less strict parents had like
Totally.
the DVD or whatever.
You
Yeah.
know Sue was not letting me get anything that said Spaceballs.
Nope.
She was like, balls? Inappropriate.
This is also involving Mel Brooks,
Mel Brooks.
who is alive, I learned when I watched this
Very much
announcement.
so.
I just, for whatever
I think
reason,
he's like
assumed he was dead.
92, 93.
Yeah, I mean, they'd made a Naked Gun,
Yeah.
And-
with Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson.
right, but didn't involve, well, he wasn't at least starring in it. I'm sure he was involved in some capacity in the production, but
I bet he was gotten like an executive producer title. I can't
Yeah.
imagine he was actually like on set.
yeah,
That'd be crazy. Too old.
he's old. A lot of people in that film, including Rick Moranis,
Oh my god.
who has not been in a film for 30 years.
Wait, is he? I thought maybe this was one of those fake Twitter deaths, but I thought that he passed away years ago.
No, he is going to be in Spaceballs 2.
Wow.
It's really kind of a insane thing that this is happening for real. Like most of the original cast is actually coming back.
Wait, dude, guess how old Rick Moranis is?
Well, I am cheating because I did have his Wikipedia page open, but 72, which is crazy.
I
And
can't believe.
his photo on Wikipedia is him from like the 1990 Oscars.
That's wild as fuck.
So yeah, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Okay, remember he was in Little Shop of Horrors? Did you ever watch?
I've seen it a few times, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big college movie
It was?
for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this could be a total flop.
I guess like I don't really have the affinity for Spaceballs as some people do. Some people like really love it and it's like a cult classic movie.
Yeah.
I don't think that I have the affinity for it. I think I watched it once and like I understood why it was funny, but it wasn't necessarily my humor. I feel like, I don't know, sometimes I think parodies are like...
Well, it's very Airplane, right? I mean, this whole genre... I mean, I did watch
With
The
Naked
Naked Gun
Gun.
with Liam Neeson, right?
Was it good?
It was good in that it was... We talk about this style of comedy as like 30 Rock comedy, where
Yeah.
it's like 12 jokes every 30 seconds,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And it's like by the time that you are done laughing at the first joke, 3 more jokes have gone by.
Sure.
And some of them are duds, but that's okay because there's going to be like 5 more jokes right after that.
Yes.
And it's just an entertaining viewing experience to have that style of comedy. And those types of comedies, at least in the cinema, I mean, in TV they exist, but in the cinema they don't exist, except for this wave. I don't know if it's a wave yet, but at least people are trying to make it happen again
Yeah.
in movies like Naked Gun. I think Spaceballs 2 is probably in the same category. It is easy to do it wrong, I think, and have like jokes that are in bad taste, and
Sure.
certain audiences may not enjoy them. I think The Naked Gun did a great job of balancing this, because the whole point of the Naked Gun franchise is that we're laughing at the cops, not with the cops, right? Like their bigotry is funny because we all know that cops are shitheads sometimes.
Surely you can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley, is that what?
Oh my God, Justin.
Airplane?
Yes. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Yes. I just don't know. Like, whenever people bring back the entire cast of a legacy movie like this, I'm just like, this could really flop.
You're immediately skeptical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's like when people tell me that their dogs are well behaved. I'm like, are they?
Like, Spaceballs 2 has most of the same creative team. Not all the same. I mean, it's being written by Josh Gad, although Mel Brooks is also a writer credited
Josh
on the
Gad's
film.
very funny. Love him on Comedy Bang Bang.
The Naked Gun was written by the Lonely Island guys. What's up, y'all? Editor Justin here. Quick correction on that. It wasn't written by all 3 of the Lonely Island guys. It was just written by the director, Akiva Schaffer, along with Dan Greger and Doug Mand. So 1 Lonely Island member and 2 other comedy writers. My point stands, though, that this is still a new creative team. at the writer's desk for this Naked Gun film. But let's get back to the show. So like they have a new comedic team behind it who loved the original, and they're like bringing their new energy to this new movie.
Okay.
And I think that's probably the best case scenario when you have like everybody coming back and some people are like pushing the century mark. Like that's where I'm like, is it even possible that this can be good, you know? But I feel like there's enough of a fan base here that it'll be a success.
Okay. Well, we will see. When does it come out?
Sometime in 2027. The exact date has not been announced yet, but they did make an announcement trailer featuring Mel Brooks.
Okay. Well, it's Amazon MGM.
Yeah, it's an MGM production.
Damn.
Yep.
Weird to see those words together.
Even still.
Really
quick to close out our hot topics. Mm-hmm. We talked about Charli's wedding.
Yes.
Another wedding has happened recently.
Oh.
Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco.
Justin, you know I'm always keeping my eye out for Selena.
You love Selena.
I do love Selena.
And they just got married.
Have you seen the guy on TikTok who does a great impression of Selena Gomez?
No.
It's really good. He's like, sometimes Benny and I will just sit with each other and watch a movie, and we just enjoy laughing together. And then I was like, this isn't that great of an impression. And then I watched like she was doing press for Only Murders in the Building, like season 18 or whatever the fuck it is at this point. And I was like, oh my God, she really does talk like this, and I've never noticed it before. She's
an interesting creative, I think.
She is.
She has like her bag because of her makeup stuff.
Oh my God.
She's like a billionaire or whatever. Yeah.
Truly billionaire. Yeah.
And I feel like she's kind of in the Rihanna space where she's like, I don't really need to work.
Yeah. She's kind of like, I'm going off vibe.
And she's kind
doing
of
what I feel like doing.
She's kind of just hanging out with like Steve Martin.
Yeah.
On the set of Only Murders. And that's kind of what she's doing. She put out a collaborative album with her now husband.
Bluest Flame.
Which I thought was...
I loved that song.
That song was great. The album was pretty good. It was fun. Benny Blanco's a talented producer.
Very talented. Young producer, poppy. Good producer.
Yeah.
He's an interesting dude.
I think that Selena Gomez is kind of
looks like a werewolf bar mitzvah.
Selena's one of those people who is like a really normal person who literally just wants to like sit in bed probably for most of the day.
Yeah.
And like just happens to be famous, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird when you see her in interviews and you're like, why is she famous again? Because she seems so normal.
Yeah.
Don't mean that as a diss. I just mean like a lot of famous people have that immediate... Like, oh, this is like a theater kid.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Got that spark.
Right.
That je ne sais quoi.
And Selena Gomez is obviously like so beautiful, and she has like the talent for fame.
Yeah.
But it's
the
like
talent for fame.
But it doesn't seem like she has the drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting. She seems like a little kind of like aloof all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But very happy for both of them.
Congrats to them.
Yeah.
You know, Benny Blanco, I was watching like an interview with him, and he was talking about how like his first like 3 big hits, he was such like a green like amateur producer. He didn't even know you could change like the BPMs in GarageBand where he first like composed the track. So he's like, they were all just like 120 BPM because I didn't even know you could change the timestamp on them.
Isn't
that wild?
Very funny.
And yet they were huge hits.
Well, he just has an ear for it.
Some Dynamite, have the ear. Tayo Cruz.
Yeah.
That's the other one, Hard by Kesha. Tonight we're going hard.
We are who we are.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Because he collaborated a lot with Dr. Luke in his early days. Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, as I think we mentioned this in some episode in the past, but ever since the allegations, he has stopped working with Dr. Luke, which I do.
Later days.
I do respect.
And Katy Perry said, it's my time.
Yeah, Katy Perry said, actually. All right, well, let's take a quick break and we'll come back to hate on some stuff, Geoff. We're starting a new segment.
I love to hate.
We'll be right back. And we're back.
Justin, you know, you and I love to be haters.
Feels good in my bones, you know? That's my favorite tweet of all time.
Wait, what is the actual tweet? I was trying to think of it earlier.
Let me pull it up.
up.
This comes from @father.
Love it.
I'm gonna be real. I'm a hater. I be hating on shit. It feel good. It make my bones feel good. And it exercise my vocals. I don't spend too much time hating, just like an hour a day. I only sleep 4 hours, so it's plenty of time left to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Geoff, tonight, we are hating.
Tonight we are father. I love that. I love a crazy Twitter name that is like so generic and means nothing, but to me it's like instantly funny.
That's truly, it might be my first or second favorite tweet of all time. That tweet rules.
What is the next closest that you can think of?
Ooh, well, there's a couple.
Okay.
One has been canceled, so it's no longer on my list.
Oh.
The second one is related to COVID, so a little bit depressing. The Kanye one is, I hate when somebody leaves a water bottle in the seat in front of me in an airplane, because it's like, great, now I'm responsible for this water bottle.
That's really good.
That was in the before times when we could still love Kanye tweets.
Yeah.
The other one was, I think, from like Internet Hippo. Do you know that account? It was like one of those Twitter accounts. It was something like, in the first week of COVID, and it was like introverts, I've been training for this my whole life. Bring it on. And then it was like 3 months into COVID. And then it was like introverts, I've never been more depressed in my entire life. And I was like, wow, I'm really feeling seen by this one. So those are like the 3 tweets off the dome that come to mind for me.
Do you consider yourself to be an introvert?
I think it's a spectrum. And I think that depending on who I'm hanging out with, like sometimes I'm the more introverted person and sometimes I'm the more extroverted person. Like me and Brandy, of the two of us, I'm definitely more introverted. I think Brandy like runs on interactions with other people. Like that's the only way that she can exist in the world, is to like hang out with people.
Yep.
I am like, I feel like in certain circles, people see me as like the socializer. Like I'm always trying to go out and do something, but I also need like alone recharge time. And I love just like shutting the door on a room somewhere and I can just like be alone for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I need that to recharge. So I don't know. I think it's more complicated than just like 100% introverted, 100% extroverted.
I agree. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because I'm constantly fascinated by the amount of people who, for them, it is like a black and white dichotomous choice. I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert. Because I'm like, I really think that more often than not, I'm pretty introverted. There are people that I'm like my full self around and like don't have any qualms saying what I feel like or being the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
But other times I really am like, I don't want to be perceived.
Yeah. Yeah. I love not being perceived.
Yeah, me too. It's kind of great.
Yeah. What I do love to perceive is hatred.
What a smooth transition, Justin.
Totally flawless. Yeah, so we are usually positive people on the pod. I think we generally don't like to talk about stuff.
I think I like to talk about some shit sometimes. I think of the two of us, I'm messier.
Well, here's the thing. As on main segments, we have decided let's not talk about XYZ thing because it's bad. And like we don't want to just have like 30 minutes of just talking shit, right? So instead, we usually, we're optimists, we tend to give people, especially creatives, the benefit of the doubt about things. But we did say, what if we made a space for some hateration in this dancery?
I'd love to bring hateration to the dancery. Mary J. Blige be damned, and I love music.
So we're going to talk about some stuff that we are haters of. Not necessarily that we hate, right? I think that's a bit of a strong word.
Sure. Well, but I think hate is a good word to use in our lexicon.
It depends on what we're talking about here. So maybe you hate what you're going to be talking about.
I hate fascists.
Yes. I'll agree with you on that one. Okay. So Geoff, who should go first? Me or you?
Well, I'd like to hear yours because we did let each other know what our topics are, and yours is crazy.
Okay.
And I got a lot of thoughts.
I have a couple. I have 2 things that I would like to talk about today that I'm a big hater of.
Okay. So let's name the things and then give me you have 2 minutes to go down your laundry list of why you hate them.
2 minutes each?
Yeah, for each thing.
Good.
Sure.
Okay. Well,
we'll do one at a time though, so we can discuss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one of them is, I understand, fully illogical and is a me thing.
Okay.
The other one, I truly think, is a bane on society. Okay. So I'll start with the illogical one because I think we'll just disagree and it'll be okay.
All right.
People who back into parking spots.
Okay.
This infuriates me. Okay. I'm trying to get to a film. I'm trying to go to the grocery store. I'm trying to do whatever. And some guy in a Ford F-150 always is like, there's a million available parking spots here. You know what I'm going to do? Instead of just pulling through and just parking in a spot, I'm going to take approximately 5 minutes to back into a spot. Now, Geoff, I ask you, how much more effort would it take for him to just back out of the fucking parking spot when he's out of the grocery store, instead of putting in all of this time and preparation just to neatly back park into a spot. It doesn't make any sense to me, especially in context like at a concert or some kind of event where there's many people parking, many people waiting in line, trying to get a parking spot, go to watch your favorite artist or whatever perform. Why are you holding up the line by back parking? This, I'm a huge hater of, and I don't get it, and I will always just pull into a spot. There's very few scenarios where I'm backing into a parking spot, and that's how I feel.
Damn. Okay, well, I've got a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
And it inspired me to come up with a second hateration topic,
Sure.
my own,
Okay.
which I will now talk about because they're so very related. And I know you've heard me go on this diatribe before.
Yeah.
People who cannot drive well do not deserve to have large vehicles. There should be a litmus test in which your driving abilities are quantified, and you should not be allowed to own a large vehicle, an SUV, even an executive-sized sedan, a truck, absolutely not. Extended cab, forget about it, unless you attain a certain score on your driving ability. This needs to be judged by like a panel of 3 reviewers and an instructor who is there with you.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see on paper all the ways in which you do or do not suck at driving, and then you're allowed to pick from this array of vehicles.
A suite of vehicles.
That's exactly it. And no, you can't go any larger than this. This is the largest weapon, because that's what it is when you're a bad driver, that you are allowed to own. And I feel this way about a lot of things, including guns. You need to be tested, and it needs to be quantified, your abilities, and then you're allowed to have a car. Because people who drive big cars are afraid of backing out of parking spots because they know they can't fucking see, and they don't know where the back of their vehicle is. So that's why it's always these fucking jabronis with their fucking, I think I'm a highway patrol officer, reflective sunglasses, who are trying to back up their Ford F-150, and it's not even an extended cab, and it's got like a 3-inch hitch off the back of it, so they're, I don't know where the end of my car is. They're the ones who will not back out of a spot because they cannot be trusted. They don't even trust themselves.
I mean, case in point. Sounds like you agree with me.
In a way, I agree with you. In another sense, I don't. Because I feel like if you're a good driver, it doesn't take you any more time to back out of a spot than it does to back into a spot.
Here's the thing. The Venn diagram of people who would like to back into a spot are generally anxious about backing out of a spot, right?
Yeah.
And that makes it more likely that they're a worse driver.
Well, okay. In a way, I agree with you. But I feel like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, right? Like you're either taking that time to back into the spot or you're taking that same amount of time to back out of it.
This is where I understand that this is a me thing.
And irrational.
And it's more an irrational because I do understand that it does take more time to back out of a spot than to pull straight out of a spot. I get that.
Yeah.
And I think in a perfect world where everybody is a great driver, it makes some sense to back into a spot, right? Because then it's like less stress. It's kind of like you're banking some extra time for when you're done with whatever event you're attending, for you to just pull out.
Yep.
But unfortunately, we live in a society, Geoff. And what that means is people who back into parking spots, I think generally are just worse drivers. And it results in me being mad at them when I would like to enter the grocery store.
Okay, well, like my thing is, so I'm thinking about this specifically when I've like gone to like concerts or stuff and you're like pulling into a parking spot or parking garage or whatever. I'm like, I have to back into this because people can't be trusted and I need to be able to pull out of here as soon as possible and just like get to driving.
I think what it ultimately comes down to is like different sources of anxiety when it comes to parking.
My issue is when there's multiple people trying to back up and apparently everyone forgets that they can actually look over their shoulder and just relies on the fucking video camera, which does not give you a wide berth of viewership.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you need to see what's going on around you before you decide. What if 3 people are trying to back out at the same time? We can't be having that. And then it's like, who's going to go? Nobody can decide.
Well, my pathology is that I'm anxious about getting places on time, which is why I'm always, as you know, the first person at every event.
Yes.
And
you were the first person to this recording today.
At your apartment.
And I live here.
And for that reason, when I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, I can see a parking spot right there and I can't even park in it because this idiot is back parking. Mm-hmm. This is why I say it's a me problem. And I get that.
Yeah.
But I still feel it strongly.
Justin, I'm glad that you feel that this space is safe and you could let me know of your irrational anger.
This is Hateration.
Yeah, and I support you.
This is what we're here for.
This is what we're here for. I support you. Do you support me about the driving thing? Everyone should be
100%.
tested?
I feel like we agree
Okay.
on that. I think, so this does exist in reality to some extent
Where?
because of CDLs, commercial driver's
Oh,
licenses.
that's so true.
But I do think that maybe there is potential regulatory-wise to add an additional category of driver's license where it's like maybe there's a middle ground of size. Yeah, like middle ground of vehicle size, right?
Okay.
And it's like for these cars, you need to have like not just a regular driver's license, but not a CDL. You know what I mean? Like additional training of some kind. Yeah.
Oh my God. We're doing like the streaming wars, like diversification of the platforms, like Hulu Plus with live TV.
Yeah, except nobody wants, this is not like a commercial venture, right? This is
Right.
just regulation of yeah.
Yeah, we need a bigger DMV.
Okay, so do you want me to do my second
I do.
hateration topic?
I want to hear what else you have to hate about.
Okay, this one, Geoff. I feel so strongly that this is genuinely a menace to society, okay?
Okay.
Smart TVs.
Okay.
Geoff, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you ever pressed like the home button or the back button on your Roku TV, right? And I'm not talking like a Roku stick. I'm not talking an Amazon Fire
No,
Stick.
you're talking Roku television.
I'm talking a television that has built into the TV
Yes.
a little computer so that you can access the internet, you can watch your streaming services, etc.
Justin, yes, I have. In fact, it's sitting about 12 feet away from us right now.
Right. And let's say you press the back button, and there's maybe like a couple seconds of delay
Sure.
when that happens, right? It's not like on your phone you press the app and it's like boop, immediate. Or on your laptop you open like
Well,
Chrome
okay.
and it's like boop, it's open.
Sometimes, yeah.
Now, the reason this happens, and I'm going to give you two quick examples, okay? When Brandy lived in New York, but before we lived together, she was renting from a friend of hers who had a 4K TV that was very old. It was a smart TV. And Geoff, that television was the beginning of this hateration because we would be this is when we were in our Buffy watching era. We were watching all of Buffy on Hulu. So we pulled up Hulu, and I swear to God, every single time I would stay over at that apartment like 3 or 4 times a week. Every time I would open it up for a fresh Buffy watching experience, I would have to restart the television. It would take about 30 seconds for it to load Hulu. It was bad.
Okay.
Another example, my dad.
Yeah.
This weekend, he's a big baseball fan. We went to see the Red Sox play.
Yep.
For the last month or so, he has been asking me for advice on how to watch baseball games. Because I don't know if you've been like following this, but the MLB has been struggling to make deals with cable providers for distribution of their games.
Yep.
So you have to stream it on the MLB app. And I'm like, listen, I already got the MLB app. Brandy's also a big baseball fan. So we already have it so we can watch baseball games at home. We don't have cable, right?
You didn't share it with your dad?
Well, I did. That's exactly what we're talking about today because guess what? My dad's TV is apparently too old to have the MLB app. They don't offer it for his Samsung TV. Now, here's the thing. Each smart TV, it's not like an iPhone, right? iPhones all run the same operating system.
Yeah.
Each smart TV has this strange little bespoke operating system with shitty little chips that go obsolete in like in 2 years, right? You're buying your TV for like $200. Most of that money is going into the display. And then they're like, well, we live in 2025, so I guess I got to throw a chip in there too. And it's the shittiest chip you've ever seen in your life. And what ends up happening is they become, people are complaining about planned obsolescence when it comes to iPhones. People should really be complaining about planned obsolescence when it comes to TVs. Because if you don't have like a dedicated streaming box, like a gaming console or a Blu-ray player or an Amazon Fire Stick or an Apple TV or something like that.
Don't get me started on the Fire Stick.
Those things are actually like they're built to be computers. Smart TVs are built to be displays that have tacked on a shitty computer so that you can stream Netflix.
I see.
Now, every single person who has come over to my apartment, I run all my streaming apps through my Xbox, which is like a powerful computer because it has to be so that it can play all these graphically intensive games, right? Whenever we watch something on streaming, people are like, wow, this is like so much faster than my smart TV. And it's like, of course it is because it's a powerful computer as opposed to your little shitty Roku stick or whatever that's like tacked onto the back of your television.
Damn. I have to tell you, I've never thought about this before.
Streaming 4K video is actually a really intensive computationally activity.
Yeah, there's a lot of information to put into the display.
Right.
To translate.
Exactly. And it's really hard to push that amount of data to a display that's 4K resolution.
Sure.
And I will add one additional thing.
Okay.
Which is that I have a pretty, I would say, nice 4K TV. We waited a long time to buy a 4K because I wanted to like future proof. We have an LG. It was like
life's good.
Life is good. It is also a smart TV because you actually can't buy a non-smart TV.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you if that's even possible.
Here's the crazy part. For a long time, I had the Wi-Fi on because I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'll connect it to Wi-Fi in case the Xbox breaks or whatever. Now, I learned, on the home screen of the television, it starts serving you ads.
Yeah, they love to do that.
If you are connected to the internet.
Yeah.
That's like unnecessary. I don't need more ads in my life. You know what I mean? Especially like, why? On the home screen of your television?
Yeah.
Like, it's an unnecessary place for ads. 2, and this is where it really gets diabolical. Yet another portal for companies to sell your viewing information to advertisers. When a TV is connected to the internet, it is listening basically to your watching habits.
Yeah.
It's seeing what you watch.
Yep.
Your tastes.
Yep.
And then it's selling that information to advertisers.
True.
And for a television, and again, this is not like HBO being like, okay, what are they watching on HBO and can I make new content? This is the TV manufacturer spying on your watching habits and then selling that information to advertisers so that they can better target ads to you. This is an unnecessary portal for user information because it can just be a TV. Imagine if you just had a display that wasn't connected to the internet and you could just use it like a TV, like we all did for so many decades.
Yeah.
So I turned off the Wi-Fi on my smart TV. And I genuinely think that the world would be better if everybody just had a dedicated streaming box of some kind.
Okay.
And they turned off the Wi-Fi on their television.
Turn the Wi-Fi off. Turn the Wi-Fi off.
And that is my hateration. I genuinely think this is a menace.
Okay. We have a couple of very related haterations. I just learned a lot about smart TVs and the way that they function. And I suppose I did wonder about companies like Nielsen, which famously does the Nielsen ratings, if you're not familiar, which is like how people would determine back in the day, what number your show was in like the viewership race. So like if you were number 1 in the polls, it's because a certain number of households were registered as Nielsen households, meaning this company was allowed to look at your viewing habits through like this little box that was attached to your cable box.
Right. They used to have physical boxes. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's how they knew like this many, they could estimate this number of millions of households watched the premiere of Murphy Brown or the series finale of Friends. Like that's how they were able to do that. So I do wonder how companies like that still exist and make money. I'm sure they pivoted to doing something like what you're talking about, where maybe they're the go-between between the people who take the viewing information from the TV manufacturers and then sell it to advertisers. Maybe that's how they make their money now. But I never thought about the fact that those ads are being targeted to you because of what you're watching.
Yeah.
Like I just never really thought much about it at all. But of course it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I have only had the smart TV for 2 years so far, and it's been working fine. There is like a little bit of a lag sometimes between quitting out of one app and getting into another. And every now and then the app will totally freeze for no discernible reason.
Doesn't happen very often on the Xbox, I gotta say.
And I had like a Roku 4K Express, and then that went obsolete. And before that, I had like the original... what was it? The Apple one,
Apple TV.
Apple TV.
Yeah.
And then that one died like after truly a long time. I think I had that for I got it like my last year in college, I think. So yeah, I had that I think for like 8 years before it like totally stopped working.
I hate to be like an Apple fanboy because I genuinely, Apple has its issues, right? But they do put good chips in their stuff.
Yeah.
And it is expensive as a result, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the main reason why these smart TVs suck is because displays are really cheap right now. You can get a 4K TV for like $200.
So yeah, that one was like $250.
What is still expensive is silicon, like chips.
Yeah.
So to put like a high-powered chip in a smart TV would make it way more expensive. And companies don't want to have to do that, right? Because the pressure to have cheap televisions right now is so high.
Yeah.
I genuinely think invest in an Apple TV or something. Those chips are so powerful. Like those are the same chips that power like MacBook Pros. They're
Right?
good.
I honestly, now that you're saying this, I'm like, maybe I should just bite the bullet and get one. My income was very different when I was like, oh, my Apple thing died. I'll get a Roku TV.
Yeah, or even just like any kind of dedicated streaming box or stick, right? Because to me, and this is more of a vibes thing, but like if you're providing a good machine that is like dedicated to streaming, you know, I'll allow it. Like you're allowed to know what I am streaming, but like for the TV to kind of be like sneakily spying on you, like I don't think a lot of people know that this is something
very
that happens.
insidious.
Yeah,
I don't like it. This is why I don't have in my home. Cut that.
we always believe it.
This is why I don't have Google Home in my home. We're not doing any of that shit.
No. Oh yeah, I'm anti smart speaker as well.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Give me an old-fashioned Bose speaker. A Harman Kardon.
Oh yeah, we love Harman Kardon in this household.
That's what they have in my Saab car. That's what my speakers are. They sound so good. 20 years later, still sound good. 24 years later, actually. My car old.
Okay, Geoff.
Yes.
You already talked about one of your hateration topics, which was
big cars, bad drivers.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that your second one was related to the smart TV conversation.
Well, Justin, it is. And we also talked about my idea of having a house phone in my apartment here. And I want to talk about my hateration, the ire of my existence as of late, is the fucking rise of all these independent streamers and the death of good old-fashioned cable television.
Ooh, this is interesting.
I fucking hate flames on the side of my face, burning, that I have to go into so many different fucking streamers. Remember the passwords. I know you're always like password manager. But the thing is that I share a lot of streaming things with multiple people, so I'm not in charge of password management. I just have to kind of go along with whatever we've got because homie don't play spending $200 a goddamn year on all these different, actually not even $200 a year, more like $70 a month on all these different streaming services. That's a lot of fucking money. And it's crazy that this is what we have to do to get content and to be in the know. And famously, we have to be in the know for our podcast.
We do. We run a culture podcast here.
We got to know what's going on. We got to have our pulse on the zeitgeist. And it angers me to no end that I can't just like go into one place like I could with cable television, go into the guide, see what's coming up, see what's coming out, see what time these shows are airing, when they're going to be. And the peak of, I think, cable television was like probably in like the mid-aughts when everything was also available on demand and you could also like download shows and save them. You didn't even have to like do the in-demand thing. You could just be like, record this, save it here. It's downloaded on my hard drive now on my device.
Or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. I think we need to go back to that. I don't think we will, but I would really like to see us go back to that because all of these fucking different streamers are paying the ass. Why am I being charged $18 a month to watch TV and still have to watch ads? This is crazy. You have all of my information. You know everything about me. You know exactly what I'm watching. You already know what, in theory, I would want to buy. Why do I now have to also get ads during the viewing process?
All right, well, I have an answer. I agree with you, for the record.
Great.
But what we're seeing is the enshittification of television, right? So basically, when Netflix began as a business model, they started making their own original content to compete with many of the other cable.
Oh, no. When Netflix began, they were sending us DVDs in the mail.
Right. But I think when this problem started was when they became a producer of their own media.
Yeah.
Right. And that is expensive. But why do they do it? It's to develop an audience.
Yeah.
Who are subscribers, who continue to enjoy their content, and then they drive their subscription price down. Well, they keep their subscription price low so that they can attract a large audience.
Yeah.
Once they have the large audience,
they're like, you're captive.
They're like, all right,
this is part of your life.
We've got a bajillion people who are subscribed, and they just slowly crank up the cost.
Sorry, just letting you know, like in 2 months, our costs are going up. There's really nothing we can do about it. It's going to go from $8 a month to $11. Sorry.
And the thing is, it's not a sustainable model, right? Like they couldn't keep their subscription cost at that low level.
It's like Uber.
They have to.
It's like Uber. It's like Uber Eats. It's like DoorDash. All these it's like Sweetgreen.
Enshittification.
None of these ventures and convenience-driven platforms, restaurants, even services are profitable at the introductory price. So they get people used to everything. They get people like making this literally what I said, like this is part of your life now. This is part of your routine. You can't really imagine your life without this. And they make it so fucking expensive so that you have no choice but to participate in this system where you're being drained and wrung out.
Netflix's strategy forced all the other companies to make a streaming product that was cheap, unsustainably cheap, to develop an audience, move people away from cable. And then once the audience was there, they say, okay, now I'm going to start running ads so I can get ad revenue. Now I'm going to increase the price of the subscriptions, right? Totally. And we basically just end up, because numbers are numbers and you need to make money to produce what you're making, right? Everything's a business. So the cost becomes comparable to cable, right? And that's where we're at now. This reminds me of another favorite tweet of mine, which is from @screamin' but calm, which I relate to. This tweet says, me sowing, haha, fuck yeah, yes! Me reaping. Well, this fucking sucks. What the fuck?
Yeah.
We were sowing the benefits of these cheap streaming services when they were really cheap. Oh yeah, this rules. We got so much TV, golden era of TV, and then as soon as it becomes clear that this was an unsustainable business model and the cost goes up, we reap the consequences of that. Yeah, it's bad.
That's fucking bullshit. I'm mad. I'm really mad, Justin. I don't want to keep spending money on stupid shit. I want to just have like a simple life. Maybe Hobbitdom is really looking good for me. Maybe I will lean into the Hobbit of it all. A simple life.
Some people see Hobbit as an insult. Some people see it as a compliment.
Listen, physically, I don't want to be compared to a Hobbit.
But philosophically.
Philosophically, yeah.
You like eating, you like drinking, you like singing merry tunes.
I love to sing a merry tune. Mm-hmm. Let's sing one right now. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Join in.
That's your
merrily,
best
merrily,
merry
merrily,
tune.
merrily, like this but a dream. Row, row, row. Okay, fine. Justin refuses to sing in the pod again.
I don't self-identify as a hobbit.
Well, so. I'm not saying I do either, but I am saying that life has some upsides. They're not paying streaming prices every month. They're not spending $80 a month on 4 streaming services.
They are not streaming.
Absolutely not. What do they need to be sold? They already know what's good in life. They grow their own food.
Beer.
They get drunk from beer, and they also love to smoke that wacky tobacco.
Oh,
Justin.
yeah.
They love
the
wacky tobacco.
It's definitely not weed.
Not weed?
Yeah.
What are you saying about?
Is that all you have to say about streaming, Geoff?
That's all I have to say about that. Much like Forrest Gump.
Okay.
I'm mad about it. I'm not going to get over it. Where do we go from here, though?
That's a good question. I think right now we're in a constriction phase of the streaming industry.
Yeah.
I don't know where we go from here.
I
think this is just the new status quo, unfortunately.
I think we're going back to cable, Justin.
I mean, we effectively are back at cable in terms of cost. Like,
cost-wise, 100%, if not beyond.
Right.
However, the convenience factor is no longer there.
So for you, it's just the inconvenience of logging into separate services.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that is primarily it because, like you said, we are essentially paying the same amount of money as we were for cable that we are now for these streamers.
Yeah.
With the added inconvenience of having to hop between these fucking services and having to manage the passwords and having to manage, they had a data breach, you got to reset your login, blah, blah, blah. And then because people are trying to save money and scrimp and save wherever they can, all of the sharing of the streamers. And so many of the streamers are now like, hey, gang, everyone's sharing our stuff, but we could be charging 4 people for this when right now we're only charging 1 because they share it with their 3 friends.
We
got to stop this.
Yeah.
I'm going to boycott it all. We're going to have to change this podcast in about 1 year's time if this keeps up.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to compare this to like the music industry because it's not a dissimilar situation, but it's not exactly the same, right? So we have 2 main streamers in the music side at this point. I would say Spotify and Apple.
Yeah.
More or less completely separated from the producers of the media.
Yes.
That is way different than streamers on
there's not
the
like
TV
Spotify
side.
Original artists.
Right. That would be, talk about dystopian.
I think we're getting to that point.
I'm sure we're getting there. Spotify does famously make AI music to populate its playlists. I don't know if you're aware of this.
I can't get into.
That's a different podcast, though. But I think what makes the current situation really untenable is that the producers of the media are the same people who are providing the streaming utility.
Right.
to watch it, right?
The platform.
Yeah. And I think that when we had cable, the producers, they've like branded their channel, they broadcast, but the providers of the cable itself were not the same company as the people making the media.
Yeah.
So I think that's like really what's unique to the TV landscape.
Unique?
Yeah. Well, obviously we see like vertical integration and all kinds of
Oh, I was just saying
industries.
unique from like the Beyonce song.
Okay. Yeah.
Aliens of song.
Sorry, I didn't get the reference.
It's okay.
Point for you. Yeah, so I guess I don't really know. Other than breaking up these media companies, that's the only solution, I feel like.
We're breaking up dance circles. We're breaking up the media companies.
Maybe the banks?
That's absolutely next, Justin. You knew I was going to say it. We got to break up the banks and financial institutions.
I would love to see it.
Let's make everything small again.
And the crazy thing is, like, the music streaming system is also not great because the streamers have so much power and they're separate from the artists. Now the artists are making so much less money than they used to. So I don't know. It's
all bad.
It's all bad. But Geoff, instead of talking about things that are bad for much longer, why don't we take a quick break and then we'll come back and talk about what's good.
Okay, I think I'm ready for that. And we're back.
We're so back.
Wow. What a wide-ranging bunch of topics we had on today's episode, Justin.
I feel lighter.
I feel lighter having gotten all that hate off my chest.
Same. Fully same.
I think this is very healthy for us.
I think this will be a recurring segment.
Hard recurring segment.
Okay.
And by hard recurring, I mean I'm hard. Getting this off my chest. I feel good.
Okay. HR?
I feel good in my bones.
Does Vance have HR? Anybody here?
There's no one around. Just you and I.
Oh, God. Someone help.
Well, Justin, I would like you to help me understand.
Okay.
What's good this week?
Geoff, I would love to. There's a film that we've talked about on the pod before when the trailer dropped. It is a new film from Film Bro fave, Paul Thomas Anderson. It's his 10th film. It is called One Battle After Another. So PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, I have...
PTA?
Pretty
you guys
well
good
known.
Friends with each other?
He's pretty well known in the old, like cinephile sphere as PTA.
Okay.
I've always had kind of mixed feelings about him. So I feel like my impression of him comes from There Will Be Blood, which is the Daniel Day-Lewis, like oil American anti-capitalist drama.
I'm an oil man. This is my son, JR.
That's exactly right, Geoff. And famously, it lost the Best Picture race to No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
In a really great year for the Oscars.
Great year for the Oscars.
An insane
I
year.
remember it well.
PTA has never won an Oscar for Best Picture, never won Best Director. But he has a consistently great filmography. I've always kind of found him to be a little bit confusing, a little bit boring. I hate to say that.
Oh, shit.
So I wouldn't say I was a fan going into this. This film is based on, very loosely, the Thomas Pynchon novel Vinland? Not sure how to pronounce that. I am a fan of Pynchon, who, of course, is a writer, came up in the 60s and 70s. Postmodern, often satirical stuff. Weird dude.
Of course. We all know him. We love him.
This film stars Leonardo DiCaprio. It's the first collaboration between Leo and Paul Thomas Anderson. Also stars Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity in her film debut, which we'll get into that, but crazy.
Okay. Yep.
Regina Hall, one of your faves.
Love Regina Hall.
And Benicio del Toro. And Sean Penn, who, if you haven't...
Interesting.
I will say, in the trailers, Sean Penn not heavily featured. Calling it now, Sean Penn on the short list probably will win Best Supporting Actor for this film.
For real?
Crazy. Insane performance.
Wow.
So big picture, this film, it's rare that I watch a movie and suddenly every conversation I have is like about this movie. Like I think I felt that way kind of about Challengers when that came out last year. This movie is not the same as Challengers, just it's a lot different, totally different.
How could it be?
But thematically, I keep wanting to talk about this film because the themes are so timely. Every conversation I have with somebody about what's been going on in the last year or so, it immediately connects with this film.
Let's talk about the themes.
So let's talk about the plot really quick first. So Leo stars as Ghetto Pat, who is a ex-revolutionary. He used to be a part of the revolutionary group French 75. He has been in hiding for 16 years with his daughter Willa, who is played by Chase Infinity.
Okay.
They went into hiding after his wife, played by Tiana Taylor, ratted on his squad, the French 75, who were like, again, these revolutionaries who were like violent far left insurgents that were like blowing up banks. They were rescuing migrants from immigration camps, hard left revolutionaries.
Yep.
She ratted on them 16 years ago, and ever since then, they've been in hiding. Now, something happens. I don't want to spoil the film, but something happens, and Pat's arch nemesis, Colonel Lockjaw, played by Sean Penn, suddenly gets on their trail. He figures out where they are, and that's kind of the inciting incident of the film. Now,
and shenanigans ensue.
The shenanigans really do ensue, Geoff. Now, the names, as you may have gathered from the name Colonel Lockjaw, in this film are crazy.
Yeah.
Tiana Taylor's character's name is Perfidia Beverly Hills.
Okay.
There's a significant character in this movie called Jungle Pussy.
That sounds like a racial thing.
It is.
Okay.
And this movie is funny. As you can, maybe you didn't know from the trailers or whatever, but
I certainly didn't know from the trailers. Once you started talking about these names,
these names are crazy.
This is very funny.
It is intentionally funny.
Mhm.
This is 50% stoner comedy, 50% neo-Western, right? So the stoner comedy is very like Paul Thomas Anderson directed a film a few years ago called Inherent Vice, which is 100% stoner comedy. So it's like 50% that, and it's 50% No Country for Old Men. Now, Leo plays this really interesting character, right? He's kind of this revolutionary who has been in hiding trying to raise his daughter for 16 years. So he used to be like pretty hardcore, like blowing shit up. Now he's getting high every night, drinking a whole bunch, staying out too late, sitting in his bathrobe, watching old like black and white French Revolution films.
Is this fucking play about me?
He actually, it turns out, is not really good at being a revolutionary anymore. But he still has like
definitely about me. This is crazy.
Now, when he gets the call, right? Like there's still this community of revolutionaries around him that they're like, "Hey, yo, Lockjaw's after you." And he suddenly is like on the run, and he's really bad at it. A lot of comedy comes from him. Like there's a classic scene. This is in the trailer, so not a spoiler. He like calls up his contact in the Revolutionary Network, and he's like, "Hey, yo, this is a Ghetto Pat. Like, I need to talk to somebody about where do I need to go?" And they're like, "Okay, what's the passcode?" And Leo's like, fuck. He's like,
totally forgot. This is completely literally forgotten. Me. Like, this is how I would be if I was sorry, I can't remember.
It's so good.
I forgot.
It's so good. It's kind of about how age affects your politics and how you can be an ally, but you can also be like maybe a little bit complacent.
Yeah.
It is about intergenerational relationships as it relates to fighting the good fight, fighting injustice, how difficult it can be to unite different generations. That whole metaphor about like not remembering the password. There's a lot of subtext and just full text in this movie about people using the right language.
Yeah.
So Leo is like Gen X, his daughter fully Gen Z.
Yeah.
Right? She has like, for example, non-binary friends.
Yeah.
And Leo, metaphorically, he's like not using the right language to unite with his progressive network using the password, but he also struggles to like use the lingo of Gen Z when it comes to his daughter, right?
Yeah.
So this is like both subtext and text thematically. Can we ever win against these forces of evil? Lockjaw is one symbol of evil in this film. He is representative of like the fascist. Sean Penn plays this like fascist asshole with such perfection. He reminds me so much of a certain administration official who may or may not have been accused of accepting a bribe recently. May have been related to a agency called ICE. In the film, he leads a very ICE-like agency. He runs migrant camps. He is somebody who only cares about how other men perceive him.
Yeah.
He wants to be cool.
Yay.
All he's doing is he has this like insane walk. Do you remember when we were talking about the SVU guy, Christopher Maloney?
Yes, Old Man
Pain.
Yeah, Old Man Pain.
Sean Penn nails the Old Man Pain walk in this film. He's constantly doing like this strange grimace that you just see people who know that they want to look tough are always doing.
Yeah.
All that he cares about is looking tough. And there's also this other category of villains in this film that are a part of this organization, which is called the Christmas Adventures Club.
What the fuck?
This is, no joke, this is in the film a white supremacist group. These guys are like the pastiest, strangest, most insane people you've ever seen.
So literally like white supremacists.
Actual white supremacists.
Yeah.
This movie does such a great job of exposing the white supremacist philosophy as what it is, which is like just insane pseudoscience bullshit, right? I mean, look at the KKK and like Grand Wizards or whatever, right? Sean Penn's character only interfaces with these white supremacists because he cares about the power that they wield. This movie is just so good at breaking down the dynamics of power, why somebody like Sean Penn, the fascist stand-in in this movie, would align himself with white supremacists, right? And it's literally just because those people only care about appearing cool, basically, and are deeply insecure.
Yes.
Without getting too much more into it, this movie rules. It's funny. It is an action-packed movie. The No Country for Old Men side, I haven't gotten into much of the action scenes because that would be very spoilery, but the action scenes are incredible. There's a couple of like all-time tension-building scenes that are set like in Southern California. I'll also say that it's also pushing the fact that while the character we're following is Leonardo DiCaprio and a white man, the people who have been at the front lines of resistance generation after generation are Black and Latino people, and especially Black women. Like
heavy on that.
Tiana Taylor,
Chaperone,
Chase Infinity, Regina Hall. These people are the goats of this movie. Insane performances. Their characters are the ones who are really holding down the line when it comes to this struggle, this intergenerational struggle. And it has a really optimistic ending. Has a needle drop at the very end that, Geoff, whenever you watch this movie, I think I would love to hear your thoughts on the needle drop at the end. It's great. I think everybody should go watch it in a theater. And it's been a really interesting choice for WB, who is the studio that has produced this film. They have budgeted it at $130 million, which is an expensive film, even if this was like, this is not that different from like Superman.
Yeah.
In terms of budget.
Right.
So why did they give Paul Thomas Anderson $130 million budget for like a prestige drama that's going to be R-rated? I don't know. I love that they did it. The box office so far has been like middling for that budget, but really good for a Paul Thomas Anderson R-rated drama.
I feel like this is one of those movies that's going to really catch fire by word of mouth.
I hope so.
Because the amount of star power in the film and the difficult and prescient topics that it talks about, and the passion and vigor with which you just told about this film, seems like it really like resonated with you. And so I feel like people like you are the ones who are going to be getting others to be like, oh, well, okay, you thought it was great, I'll go look at it.
I really hope so.
So I think this is going to slow burn, and I think they'll make their money more.
I would love to see that. This is easily Paul Thomas Anderson's best opening weekend ever.
Yeah.
I think that I read somewhere that this is the first movie where he looked at test screenings because WB, a major studio, is producing this. And I think for that reason, it's his most accessible film. Like his other ones, like I mentioned, are a little bit
a little more
obtuse,
niche. Yeah.
This one, its themes are on its sleeve.
Yeah.
And it's very wholesome, honestly. And it's just great. I think this is going to be the best picture frontrunner, no question. I think that Paul Thomas Anderson is very likely to win a Best Director Oscar for this. And I already put my money on Sean Penn for Best Supporting Actor. He is insane in this movie. And you wouldn't even know it from the trailers. He's barely in the trailers.
This is an issue that I could probably talk about hateration for this too. I am so annoyed by the way that movies are marketed lately. I feel like they don't actually speak to the audiences that would actually like the movies. And so I think we're seeing a lot more flops at the box office that then later they're like, oh, this is a cult following. It's like, no, this actually would have been a blockbuster movie if the marketing had been done properly and you actually portrayed what was happening in the film and didn't try to sell it as something different.
Yeah.
This
is a case where I think WB has been marketing the shit out of this movie.
I have to tell you, I have not seen a lot about it, and I'm chronically online.
Interesting. Leonardo DiCaprio has been on podcasts.
Really?
Yes.
Like, what podcasts?
I follow this podcast. It's a film podcast called The Big Picture, which is a Ringer podcast, same family as Good Hang.
Yeah.
He's been on that along with Paul Thomas Anderson.
Regina King was on Good Hang, and it was a great episode, and she was so funny, which inspired our hang tonight.
Yes.
When our friends come over, we're going to watch Scary Movie 2, which is so fun.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. That's No Battle After Another promo that you saw.
That is
in
true.
your circles, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's happening.
But just
it's
that
out there.
one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything else. So that's interesting.
There's a one battle after another skin on Fortnite. And I'm not kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like that's wild to me.
What about Teyana Taylor? No relation.
Like I said, she is Leo's kind of like missing lover.
Yeah.
Mother of his daughter.
Yeah.
So she's in the film for the first third of it. The first third of the movie is really her movie. Leo's barely in the movie for that first third.
Yeah.
And she's great. She's a really interesting character. It's very layered and mysterious and enigmatic until the end of the film. And I don't want to go into any more without spoiling.
Yeah, that's fine.
But also she's like incredibly hot, which is kind of a point of the character. She's kind of a force of nature. And she gets a lot of attention from men.
Sure.
And I think that's a piece of the
Big
character
part of-
that's
yeah.
important. Yeah.
It's interesting because I first heard of Teyana Taylor when we were in high school, and she was on my Super Sweet 16.
Mm.
And I believe, I don't know for sure, but I believe she's like a Nepo baby type. Like, I think that she has very rich, successful parents who were in the entertainment industry in some capacity. And back then on the show, she wanted to be like a singer/rapper. And I think she does have like a music career. But
She was a collaborator with Kanye.
yeah, I've noticed her being in films lately.
Interesting.
And so I was just curious if she's actually good or not.
She's
'Cause
good in
I
this
really
movie.
have never like ingested any of her content.
She's great in this movie. I mentioned this earlier, but Chase Infinity, first film she's ever been in, insane. She carries this movie at a lot of points. She's like the second star next to Leo, honestly.
That's really interesting. I don't know anything about her.
Nobody does. She's been in like a couple of TV shows, and this is her first film, which is really wild.
Oh my god, young girl.
I mean, beautiful. She's a model, I think,
Young
outside
singer,
of her acting.
good singer.
Yeah.
Young actress, good actress. Oh, she was in Presumed Innocent.
Yes,
I
that was
didn't
her.
watch it, but my mom did. So
That was her
great.
big role before this. Was
Okay.
Presumed Innocent. Yeah.
For her. Congratulations, Chase Infinity. You're a real one.
And I could go on for so long about this, but yeah, the movie's great. I would recommend everybody watch it. This is going to be a Best Picture contender. It's probably, I have recency bias, so I don't want to say for sure it's my favorite film of the year so far, but like it's top 2.
Wow. All right.
Jeff,
Yes.
one battle after another, really good. I would love to know after our conversation about what you really don't like, what you hate, in fact. I would love to know what you really love, what is good, if you will.
Justin, I absolutely shall. And I'll tell you, this is something I really love. And I think that this is a front runner for album of the year.
Oh.
And this album is called V by Doja Cat. V-I-E as in the French word for life, for those of you who are listening and have not been educated about Doja's incredible 5th studio album. So this album just came out on this past Friday. So what was that, the 26th? So I've listened to it, I would say 6 times
That's
since
a lot.
then.
Yeah.
Really love this album. This was produced by several different people. There's Ambreza, Jack Antonoff, of course.
Jack Antonoff having a summer.
He truly is.
Yeah.
And in true Jack Antonoff fashion, this album is very 1980s.
Okay.
In its sound, in its design, in the instrumentation that has occurred on the tracks. I was so surprised by this album. I said to our dear friend Ben, 3-timer on the pod, this album is a true work of art and is avant-garde. And I do not say that lightly. As somebody who once described art pop back in the day as an avant-garde album, and we've now had like a reckoning of society at large's dismissal of that magnificent 3rd studio album by Lady Gaga. I think that people who don't really get this album, which I've heard a lot of people saying, I don't really get this, or this feels like so different than anything she's done. I think in 10 years, if I'm off and people don't really appreciate this now, I think in 10 years, people are going to be like, damn, Doja knew what she was doing. This album's actually really great. And this is exactly where music is heading. It's just absolutely fabulous. It's 15 tracks, which is kind of like a long album these days. You know, everyone loves to do these 9ers, 10ers, 12ers, tops. So she's got 15 tracks. I have to tell you, no skips.
Oh.
No skips. Every song is so fascinating and different sounding. I'm like, I need to hear this. I would say she dabbles in tons of R&B, definitely hip hop heavy.
That's good.
And there's also some pop songs, and it's like 80s pop. And even, Justin, a ballad. And we love a ballad. It's so clear to me that she put a lot of time into this album, like really took her time before putting this out to make something that was so different, but still really you could like hear and see the DNA of who she is as an artist in it. She like does the genre hopping that we've been talking about, which I had hoped that Sabrina did a little bit more and with more intentionality. It wasn't just a production choice. It was like a content choice. It was like a sound design choice. There are a couple of songs on here that I think are absolute standouts. And my favorite song on the album is the only one I'll really talk about because I just want people to listen to this. This song is called A-H-H-H Men. The kind of whole, I guess you could say, attitude of the song is like, men suck, but unfortunately I'm so into men and I'm not actually gay, even though I thought I might have been for a little while. I need to figure out like what healthy boundaries and high expectations look like in my future relationships. She does what Doja does best, which is like she has great pop melodies and absolutely slick rapping. And it's so on point. The sound of the song is like nothing I've ever heard. It is like eerie, which speaks to like the insidious feeling that she's like describing in her music and lyrically in the song about like her relationship with masculinity, I guess, in general, and how it's like, I don't really like it here, but unfortunately this is where I am.
Yeah.
And I got to make the best out of the situation. And it's also like futuristic sounding. Like I was thinking about the Tron soundtrack from that movie that came out so long ago now. I think it was
Tron
probably like
Legacy.
I think it came out probably like in the like 2012 or 20.
Yeah, that was a Daft Punk soundtrack, I believe.
Yes, and this particular song sound like it reminds me actually of the Chemical Brothers. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
This song in particular reminded me of like that sort of eerie, futuristic, dystopic, like discordant sound that I think the Chemical Brothers do extremely well. It's just incredible. Lyrically, this whole album I think is very dense. Again, it was just clear that she and Jack Antonoff were really having a great time collaborating on this. The majority of the songs sound very Jack Antonoff. He produced, I think, like 9 or 10 of the tracks on it. There are some other producers that she worked with as well. So there is some variation. It's not like, you know, some of the other pop girls' last albums with Antonoff where it's like, okay, this sounds like one long jam session.
Yeah.
You know, I just really think Doja is like having a great year. I think this is her peak so far in her career. I think it's artistically strong. I think the music is not like something that you've really heard before. As much as it is an 80s throwback, the elements of it that are 80s are so modern and different that I think people will really appreciate what they were able to accomplish with this album. Very good.
Wow, I got to give this a listen. I mean, I am surprised and happy to hear that Jack Antonoff is doing a good job on this album. He has collaborated with a couple of like hip hop adjacent or R&B adjacent artists. Like he did an album with Kevin Abstract a few years ago that was really good. I see that George Daniel, who we talked about earlier on this podcast, is credited as a producer on Gorgeous. So that I'm interested to hear what that one sounds like.
I really like that song.
Yeah, so Doja is an interesting artist in general.
Definitely.
Right? We've talked about her a little bit on the pod before. I know Ben's a huge stan.
He sure is.
Her previous album was a big hip hop focused album. Sounds like this one is more of a hip hop and pop combo.
I forgot to even say this. There are a couple of people, a couple different artists who I think that this album sounds like. There's one track that sounds a little bit ABBA inspired, which I was like, this kind of reminds me of Sabrina Carpenter.
Wow.
Her last effort. A lot of these songs sound like Prince and the Revolution. Sheila E.
Okay.
Famously part of The Revolution.
Yeah.
Janet Jackson. Heavy on Janet Jackson. There's like a song on here that is called Lip Sync, which reminds me very much of Lady Gaga.
It sounds like a Lady Gaga song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the titles, it was funny, like Gorgeous, Stranger, Lip Stain, All Mine, Take Me Dancing. I was like, this sounds like if you told me these were the title tracks to Life of a Showgirl, I'd be like, sure, yeah, it sounds like Taylor.
Gorgeous is a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah. Listen, it's kind of crazy because like I said, she's got good pop hooks, but there's one ballad on here and I'm like, wow, Doja Cat can actually sing.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. I really love this album. Sorry, I feel like I'm talking for like 10 years, but it's really good. And I think it's very influential. And I really think this is like peak artistry this year.
It's okay. That's me every time I have a What's Good. So now we're just even. Okay. I'll have to give this a listen for sure. I am a casual fan of Doja. So
I was before this.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I need to dig back into her backlog.
Okay. Well, Geoff, this has been a really fun episode.
So fun. Love to be together.
In the same room.
Person.
Yeah. We'll be back next week, speaking of Taylor Swift, to talk about the new Swift album.
Oh my God. Life of a Showgirl.
And there may be a special guest attending that pod recording.
Did we get Swift?
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh my God. Listeners, tune in. Taylor on the pod.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been Vance with Geoff and Justin. Vance is created and produced by Geoff Taylor and Justin Benavidez. Graphic design by Geoff Taylor and editing by Justin Benavidez. The theme music for Vance is A Track Nebraska With You by Sam Day and is provided by No Copyright Sounds. Email us at vancepod@gmail.com with questions, recommendations, or just to say hi. And if you like the podcast, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple or Spotify and tell your friends. Bye.
Bye.
Justin, I want force abilities.
Don't we all?
Whoa. That's not going in. Cut that. Cut that.